expect in this video to share with you my vision, my opinion about SAS versus R and Python, so that I will try to answer to the great question, why learn SAS? And how do I learn SAS? So first of all, Python, R are two open source which are very different from SAS. It's not the main purpose. If you think about research, if you think about university and R&D from any organization, open source are very well designed for this purpose. But if you want to put your model in production in a stable way, secure way, and for example, if you have to comply to different rules and different law, it will be more SAS. To give some example, first thing is there is many data scientists that I called Kagler, which is not very nice for myself. What is a Kagler? It's someone who pretends to do some data science, but who never put real model in production. That's something important. Put a model in production, it's not only to make it running on another data set, it's to enable to maintain it over years. And open source are very hard to maintain over years because there is always a new maintenance, a new package, and it will be very hard. I've got one server on which I install my platform in 2017, and now I've got more than 10 versions of Python, and same for R. And I can't compare all my virtual environment. So some virtual environment are with version 2.7 and some other with 2.8 and 3.1, 3.5 up to 3.10. So many different versions, and there is some code who work in one version, not on the other. So put in production, it means to have some models that you will maintain over years. If you've got many models to maintain over years, SAS is really well designed for this purpose. Compliance. There is a huge difference between just make a model or try to comply to the rules from the European Central Bank, from the Fed, for the Food and Drug Administration, when you have to explain why your model respect statistical rules. For example, for risk modeling, you can do some stuff in open source, but it will be hard to explain it to your inspector. So performance, that's very important stuff. SAS is most of the time more than 30 times more faster than Python. If you have the same environment with the same in-memory database distributed, for example, and you compare some stuff with Python and some other with SAS, most of the time SAS is more than 30 times more fast. So performance, there is many projects where the proof of concept was done with Python, the R&D was done with Python, and when they tried to put it in production on the full database, it didn't run enough quick. So that is really something important on this case. Accuracy, precision from how it's developed. It's mean for some econometrics model, if you try to compare the result from SAS and R or Python, you will find there is a little difference, which is not acceptable in some statistics analysis. And if you we do everything by hand, it's SAS, which is precise. There is many optimization which are not well developed in open source package. So it's two different worlds. If you need something really precise, statistically speaking, scientifically speaking, SAS is the platform. If you've got some problem about compliance, performance, and or maintenance, accuracy, really SAS is well designed for this case. And the SAS platform is at many ways a platform with workflow, with pipeline, so quite no code. But the idea to be a good consultant, it's to know how to code in SAS to optimize it. That's a different mindset. So if you think about the total cost of ownership in a 5 years period, and if you have some problem about security, compliance, auditability, and if you count all your process about machine or cloud software, but the biggest part, it's about human, SaaS can have the smallest total cost of ownership. So a little example about total cost of ownership over 5 years with a SaaS platform. We can imagine a very expensive license for 1 million per year. For 5 years, it's make 5 million. And a team from 30 employees will do this shortcut, which is a little not true, but to say one employee costs 100K euro per year. So it means the total cost of ownership for this project, it's mean 15 million for employees plus 5 million for the license. It's make 20 million. The same project with open source. The first year there is only 30 people who are working, but the second years you will need to hire some employees to adjust what you developed last years. And there is new package, and to maintain what you developed, you will increase year after year your team for the same scope. So your team for the same specification will grow up to a very large number of employees, because you need people to develop new stuff, but also people to maintain what you developed last year, 2 years before, 3 years before, and so on. So for this project, at the end, it will be a total cost of ownership, which is quite double with open source compared to with the SaaS platform. So not all the projects are with SaaS. It's only very big project where there is some problem about compliance and or performance and or accuracy and or put it in production. But for this kind of project, SaaS will have a smallest total cost of ownership rather than to implement it with an open source. What is the biggest competitor of SaaS? I will say it's the people who think because they do a little proof of concept with an open source, it will be easy to deploy it on a large platform and to maintain it over years. No, in some case, it's not the, you can't. So SaaS is with a good trends to get a big deal with a very big organization, mainly bank and insurance, so financial institution, on the topic from the fraud detection, so anti-money laundering, fights terrorist finance, national tax frauds, etc. That's a big topic, but also risk analysis, risk modeling, and predictive maintenance when there is many different models to put in production together. Also, customer intelligence, that's a hot topic for big organization. So the main job with SAS, it's about data engineer, and it's quite important to get this kind of job to be certified pass programming or advanced programming and programming in VIA, which will be very useful to get a very good job where you will need very few to code. You will need to implement it in workflow, in pipeline, but you need to know how to code. Data analyst, it's a topic about statistics. There is also a certification on the topic. Business analyst with SAS Visual Analytics, there is many certification. One is visual modeling with visual statistics. Another one is about SAS VA. There is also a certification about data science with this machine learning and artificial intelligence certification. It's 3 exams. The first one is about machine learning. The second is with forecasting and open research. And the last one is about deep learning and text mining. For this kind of certification, you can go on SAS Skill Builder. It's free for everyone who get an account with an email from an academic institution. When you go on SAS Skill Builder for students, you will have access to, through this platform, to an environment in which you've got access to the e-learning, and you also have access to SAS. So SAS on Demand for Academics, it's a classical SAS 9.4 with SAS Studio, and SAS Via for Learner. So you have access for free to this full environment, and you can prepare this kind of certification, which can make a huge difference to get a good job. Thank you for your attention, and if you've got any question, don't hesitate to send me an email. All the best.